Hello and welcome to episode 14.
Look at your face as you calculated that.
I had to work it out. Of a D20 Afterhours Podcast with me, Dave, and...
Ollie.
Yes, it's just us two this time.
Yeah, so it's going to get weird.
It's always weird. So this is the podcast where we kind of just vent.
Yeah.
And we kind of just talk about things, and we don't really have a direction yet. But we kind of just... It's a way of just talking about everything, because a lot of people talk about our banter that we have on the YouTubes.
Yeah, but this is a more casual. We just kick back and chat.
Yes. And you notice that Ollie talks very slowly now because he can't speed it up.
I try and all the time.
Try.
I actually once played guitar so quickly that it became one long note.
Really?
Yep.
Was it good?
That was weird because everyone that walked past it started slowing down.
Oh. Were you sure that was slowing down, or was just your mind?
There may have been some other things involved.
Other things involved. This is back in your younger days.
This is back in my younger days.
So yes, this is the podcast we just banter for a while, and this is the last podcast for Ollie for about a month.
Yep, I'm off in Japan in 2 days. I'm not looking forward to
2 days.
Yeah, I'm off on Wednesday.
Damn.
So it's a lifelong dream. Finally realised it, and saved for like 6 years.
Because I thought this was going to be the end of the channel.
Right.
Yes, because when you originally proposed it,
I was considering
this was before you were with Julia.
Yeah.
And you were considering moving there and actually working there.
Yeah.
And there was no way we would be able to do the channel if it was just me, because there's only so much I can do.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say we could do the channel if we Skyped.
No, I mean, I was thinking about doing it that way, but I think the reason why it works is us being in the same room.
Yeah, but then like a fool, I fell in love and that plan fell apart.
Yeah, then all that love bull crap came in, and then
essentially, like the actual story is, I'm
also drinking a beer.
Yeah,
I never really get to drink beer.
I had a dream last night.
Are you okay with me drinking beer?
Oh, of course.
Because just for those that don't know, Ollie's been sober for how long now?
Nearly 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
But basically, like for the first, because I've really struggled with that. For the first 3 months, it would have been a huge problem.
Yeah.
But now it's not even.
I forget, because we lived together. It never seemed to bother you. But so I've never actually blatantly just asked you.
But yeah, last night I actually just remembered I had a dream that I had a beer. And it really messed me up. I was like, in the dream, I was like really upset that I'd broken my streak, and I was really worried that I was going to go back to drinking. And like,
I think with any addiction, if you punish yourself too hard for slipping, you're not going to get back on the rails.
I mean, well, that was dream me.
Yeah, dream me. Because I think anyone that's battling addiction, I've dealt with my addiction that I have.
Yeah.
It's when you slip off, as long as you realise and making steps towards bettering yourself, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I really struggled with that for quite... I mean, it took me about 6 months and a lot of different tactics until I finally got off the alcohol. Mm-hmm. Like, I would go clean for 2 weeks and then be like, look, I got 2 weeks through, it's not a problem, and then have one drink, and then it would be later.
I'm okay with... I don't feel like I have a problem. I can go several weeks without even realising I've drunken, and then I'm just like, I haven't drunken for a while, and why don't I just go out and chill with mates or something?
One of my problems was I was very good at undermining myself. Like, I'd say, okay, this is getting to a problem, I'm not going to drink ever again. And then my brain would rework itself and be like, but what if you just had one?
Isn't that
nice
like
day?
the rule of definitives or something? It's like, if you say you're not going to do something, the only thing you want to do is do that one thing.
But it actually, eventually, after listening to...
It's like a nugget thing. It's like, I wanted to say nugget during that episode.
Yeah. It was actually after listening, Plains FM has an Alcoholics Anonymous...
Apologise for the rain, by the way.
Yeah, we have no control over that.
Yeah.
You will one day, Lisa, but not now. I was listening to an AA podcast, and it was actually that made me finally be able to stop.
Yeah.
But the story was, I was actually saving for a trip to Vegas, not Japan. Then I quit drinking and was like, well, there's no point in going to Vegas now. So I changed it into a Japan fund, and there we go.
Okay, take Japan out of it, because I know that's your dream.
Yeah.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
After Japan, I've been thinking about this. New York City.
New York City.
I'd love to see some Broadway.
You would love to go see Critical Role Live.
Okay, fine. That's the real reason.
I would love to go, like us two going to a Critical Live episode.
Yeah,
that would be
and fanboying hard and be like in the background with signs and shit.
And there's bound to be like one person that's like, "Oh, you do that stupid review."
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, we try.
Apparently, my boss was telling me someone came into work and recognized me, but didn't tell me because I didn't want to inflate my ego.
Oh. And you know it would. You know it would.
Hell yeah. When I ran into the guy at the theatre sports competition that knew who I was, in my head I was like, play it cool, play it cool, play it cool.
That's never happened to me yet.
I texted you right after that happened. I was like, Dave, you're never going to believe this.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. But on that note, just because this time, this was the moment I thought we were going to wrap everything up.
Yeah.
I had personal goals like, how far can we get from where we were at the time when we started to now?
Yeah.
And this time last year, we had about 60 subscribers.
So we've gone up nearly 500.
Or 1,000%.
Yeah.
Because we're now at 600.
And
54 or something like that. It's sad that we keep track of
that.
We know that because we see it pop up every time something happens.
So in the morning, right, first thing I do is check my phone to see what time it is, to see if I need to get up. I go bottom right hand corner, check how much money I have in my bank account. Yeah, fair enough. Then I go to Chrome.
It's weird that that's changed from when you were asleep, though.
No, I just like to know. Okay. You know what my memory's like, Dave. Then I go to Chrome.
We need to do a full episode on that. I'll get Julia here in 2 weeks' time. Me and her are just going to go, hey, so memory stories of Ollie.
But the funny thing is, next time we actually do that episode, I'll be like, did we say that? I don't remember.
Yeah, probably. But I know, because I'd be doing podcasts with Julia.
Yeah, she's keen. So, first thing I do is check my bank. Second thing I do is check Facebook. Third thing I do is check my email. And fourth thing I do is check the YouTube.
I check the YouTube because I like to know what people like to see because this has always been a dream of me of doing a YouTube channel and keep going with it and see what it becomes because I like entertaining and it's never been my forte. I've never been an actor and I've always been curious about it. Yeah. I've always wanted to do it.
I remember you saying early on that this is like your kind of trial of being a performer and out there and
putting myself out there because my dream is to be on stage of actually being at a performance in front of a crowd and being okay with it or not being like you're going to be nervous because I think that helps you but kind of having that goal of mine it's sort of like on the bucket list of being on stage in front of a crowd and be like getting a laugh out of like just one joke that I put and getting someone to crack up. That's my goal. And doing this channel and having so many people engage and watch us every week, it's I never have it in my mind that the episode that we film is going to be watched by more than 100 people, which easily it always is. And I never put in my head that it is. That's about as emotional as I get.
Well, see, I'm actually finally ticking off one of my bucket list items.
This seems real egotistical of us, though. It's talking about how well we've done. This is more of like a reflection episode.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because we are, going to be apart for a month, Dave.
It's going to be the best month of my life. And for those that don't actually know, this is the last time you're going to be in this house.
Yep. No, well, unless I break in later because I've still got the keys.
What, from Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, you still got the key?
I'm kidding.
Are you kidding?
No, I am kidding. I do actually still have the keys to my friend Dan's house because we used to live together. And a couple of times I have gone to Christchurch without telling him and just been like in his house when he gets home.
That's like, really creepy, Ollie. That's really creepy.
You're visiting? I'm like,
but yeah, we have to move out because they have to do a lot of construction in this house because the bathroom... basically this house hasn't had any heavy construction since it was built 10 years ago. And the bathroom's leaking and you can see it through the roof of it kind of... It's over there. I'm pointing over there.
All podcast
look over there.
Look over that way.
And so this house is kind of falling apart. So the landlord has basically said, hey, we have to do a whole bunch of construction, but you guys can't live here while that happens. So me and Jason, we don't know whether we want to live together. It's kind of I've been trying to, because I'm so busy, I don't have time to organize a place to kind of view and stuff, so we need to kind of suss out something quite quickly. So
we didn't take that other place, but it wouldn't have worked for you guys because there was one bathroom and it was in one of the bedrooms.
What are you talking about?
That place that we checked out, me and Julia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you were like, you should tell us about it. I was like, no, because it's got one bathroom and it's in one of the bedrooms, so anytime Jason wanted to pee, he'd have to come into your bedroom.
Yeah, so we don't know where I'm going to be filming. Ideally we'd like a place... I would like a place myself. I think I've reached that point where I kind of need my own space.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And I have a reasonably good job at the moment. So
I've actually only ever done that once, lived by myself. It was nice.
I lived by myself once, but just from a financial point of view, it was killing me. But at the time, I had stupidly bought it into a bar and I was paying that off.
Well, this is back when I was drinking, so I used to wake up at noon, walk around for a couple of hours in my underpants and just drink gin,
So the only thing changed is that you don't drink? You know that's true.
Yeah, that's true. But it is kind of nice having entirely your own space. You're just more responsible for all the cleaning.
I think because for those that don't know, I'm 30. I'm old. Ollie's, 28? 29 now. I met him when he was 28. That's why I remember it. But we reached that point that we're kind of need our own space, and if you're in a relationship, it's a lot easier. But if you're by yourself, you kind of want well, space. So I'll see how that works out. I would love to still live with Jason, but it really comes down to what's available, really.
Well, see, this flat, when I was living with you guys, before that I had a rule that no matter how good a flat was, after a year I'd find a new one.
Yeah.
And I'd been doing
and you
that
broke that rule with us, eh?
Yeah, for the first time in 10 years in 10 different flats. It was that good.
Yeah, this place is a reasonably good location. And
it's for those of you, I mean, yeah.
You guys only see typically like the shots on the couch in the room, but maybe we'll do a tour before we close it down as in like a like behind the scenes kind of thing.
It's also 30 seconds from a supermarket that's open till midnight every night. Like that is dangerous.
Yeah, except for the alcohol kind of shuts out for 10.
At 11. I thought it was 11.
That's 10 now. 10. They changed the rule
since I've been drinking.
So
yeah, that's kind of like what is happening next for us.
Yeah, so it's going to be big changes over the next, and I guess we all talk about it like our ideas for the future of the channel. We might as well. This is a very reflective episode.
let's talk about what we're. So I decided to try an idea that was a D20 cooking show.
This can be a production meeting. I know we joke about it. Let's do a production right now.
Okay.
Right,
So one thing I think you're right about is that we want to get into the board game side of things.
Yeah, because we literally just talked about this before turning on the mic.
I also. When I get back, I'm buying a quite nice webcam because I saw that one of the shops in town has a really good one for live streaming, and I want to lock down 4 hours a week, 3 hours, 4 hours a week for both of us to do different games on the D20.
Yeah, they'll be good. I think one of the things that we've learned from doing this for a year and a half is overstretching ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, at first we had 4 shows released on our channel.
Yeah.
Weekly. And that was 2 live streams and NPCs and Dragon Tavern.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, the games kind of fell apart for their own reasons.
Yeah.
But
one of them is still going.
I did feel like we were doing it pretty much every day.
No, it's true. We did way too much.
Yeah, and we're doing a lot of editing. We overstretched ourselves.
But I think there are like a couple of days a week, like Mondays and Wednesdays usually for me, that are just constantly free.
Yeah.
And possible to do that. But I still want to try it and see.
I do want to try it and see what works, because this is all an experimental kind of thing that we're doing. We've always talked about, I don't think we've ever actually blatantly said out loud of our sketch show that we're planning on doing.
So
that's in the making.
This is an idea we had. We actually both wrote scripts for
when
it.
we were living here.
Yeah, so it was an idea called D20 House, and it was like Dungeons and Dragons, but kind of like exaggerated versions of Ollie and Dave's lives in a sketch show.
And the kind of I put the set of us building us live stream set. Of
so
all based around that.
Yeah. So we both wrote a couple of scripts. We talked to our friend Conan, who plays in Witnesses to Ruin.
He's probably going to still help us if we ever make this project reality.
Yeah, it's just like doing a sketch show seems easy enough. You take a couple of shots, but there's so much production that goes into it. It's actually a huge task.
And for those that are curious about Conan's work, he does a show online called Two Naked Gay Guys,
which I auditioned for and got down to the last 3 actors. But
I know you've never mentioned that before, Ollie. You've never mentioned that.
To be fair, I used to have a huge beard and dreadlocks when I did that.
Oh yeah.
So I wasn't quite.
So his channel's called Two Naked Gay Guys. It's actually on YouTube. He gets flagged all the time because of inappropriateness, which is stupid. But I understand the algorithm. It's just automatic, and it's just stupid.
I just mentioned to my friend Amy that we're recording, and she said, "You'll be the next Oprah one day, except male."
And poor.
And white.
And poor.
And poor should be on there as well. But Two Naked Guy Guys is hilarious.
I'm going to put this over here. This happens every time you're on the podcast. You get distracted by your phone and you start playing on it.
It's shiny and pretty.
Yeah.
So Two Naked Guy Guys is hilarious. It's all about gay culture and...
it's about a crux of a gay relationship and kind of... it's basically just like a normal relationship except for, the gay.
Basically, it's like, hey, this is... what gay life is like.
Yeah.
And
Conan's a really lovely guy. He's very huggy. And
it's like, with you. But I love Conan.
I love Conan as well, and we're actually thinking about doing a little bit of... He's thinking about doing a podcast, and I want to help him out with it.
He comes into work a lot because he's a board game.
Yeah, but he really wants a hug from me, and I just can't do it.
Whereas I actually once at work saw him, so I ran up behind him and gave him a hug, and then I thought to myself, I was so lucky that turned out to be Conan and not someone just similarly shaped. That would have been like...
that's probably happened to so many people. But we're hoping to make that sketch show. We won't talk about scripts that we've proposed.
Can I give the title of mine?
No, let's wait just in case we don't make it, because we don't want to drop a teaser if it's never going to get fruition. But that is one little project that we're probably going to work on when Ollie gets back.
Yeah. Also, I'm turning our live stream game Witnesses to Ruin into a podcast. So I'll just be stripping the audio from the videos and doing little intros and stuff, and that'll be on SoundCloud when I get back.
Yeah,
which is exciting.
Which is something we want some of the Patreon money to go to as well, is over time just funding that, because you'll be surprised how much more motivation we have when people are contributing to Patreon. And that's not being greedy, that's the fact of we're saying people like our stuff so much, they want to take $1 from what all the crap they have to put up with in their daily lives to put towards what the stupid thing we're doing here is.
And we have invested like a decent chunk into the channel. We've got the cameras, the mics, the subscriptions to Twitch.
Just look at the first episode we ever released compared to what it is now.
That was like, I was amazed. The camera we were using was actually Jason's. I borrowed it. It was the 4:3 aspect ratio.
It was before I even lived here.
The blockiest, fuzziest.
I think it was like episode 93 of the regular series.
Yeah, that's when we got the new camera.
Yeah, and I now pay a subscription for the editing software.
Yeah.
It's like $50 a month. It's quite
I pay the Twitch subscription so we can watch Critical Role. It's much less than that.
Yeah,
it's like
much
$7
less.
a month.
But it allows us to kind of edit things without feeling like we're ripping off people and using cheap software and stuff. So and we're learning quite a lot. And we're learning every video that we do. We're learning and growing and being able to expand.
And one of the things we really try and do is ask you guys, like, what do you want to see on the channel? What's working and what's not? Exactly.
Because, I mean, as much as we like doing it, there's no point doing something if no one really gives a crap about it.
My view of it now is that we've built a small, like, D20 community of just nerds that like to chat about D&D. And we get to do that with people from around the world, and that's awesome.
And we get to keep on doing it and feel more motivated. I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, if this is a reflection time, there have been times I don't want to watch Critical Role.
And there have been times where I'm just like,
I know it's blasphemy.
It's like, I'm just like, I've had a shit week. I just want to be in bed watching poker. I don't want to sit in front of a camera and be like, hey!
But in hindsight, do you regret it?
No, not
exactly. And the minute we start getting on camera and doing it, and then seeing how people like put it in their schedule, their Critical Role schedule to watch our review, kind of just shows, hey, we're doing something.
We've had a few people that have been like, we look forward to your show every week. And
when it's late, I'm getting people saying, where's the episode? And I'm just like, holy crap.
We actually never thought it would get to the point where people were actually keen to watch. We thought it would be pointless.
Because the idea behind it, I think, was we started a game together.
Yeah.
And Caffeinated Dragon.
Yeah.
And I had a discussion with you because you said you were an entertainer and you like all that.
And I was like, I'd love to do a live stream. And then you went like, well, why don't we do it? And I was like, but I'm working with some other people. And,
and I was like, no,
let's actually just do it.
Let's actually do it.
Yeah, maybe. And then you just kind of went, no, seriously.
Like, let's do it. Because
figure out how to do it.
It started with Critical Role, and I was just like, have you got any of your stuff online? Like, any of your performances? Have you put yourself out there? Because that's now. Yeah. And you said no. And I was like, no. I like Critical Role. I just came back from Indianapolis watching the live show, and I was like, why don't we just do that? Because it's something I wanted to do by myself, and I figured it would make more sense to do with two people.
And I thought it sounded fun, and I'm pretty much usually in life down for anything. Someone says, let's go rob a bakery.
And we knew each other for less than a month.
That's true.
Probably when we filmed the first episode.
Yeah.
And you didn't really understand my mentality when it comes to these kind of things. No. It's like, when I start something, I really want to like give it my all.
Which you have done on the channel times 1,000.
And no, there's so many things I want to do more of, and I think if you're always pushing yourself, you're on the right track.
And I'm just having fun creating content, and I'm keen to just keep this going.
And just see what happens in a year's time. Who knows what will be for you. I don't think we'll get 6,000 subscribers. I mean, I don't think it'll be something like that.
Your actual like attitude of if you want something, do it. One of the reasons that inspired me to go, you've always wanted to produce and write a play. You're in like the arts capital of New Zealand, why don't you fucking do it? So I actually sat down, wrote a play, and approached some writers, and it's being shown in like a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad I pushed it.
And there's just been other like influences.
We're getting praise. I'm not very good with it. I'm getting very uncomfortable. I'm just fidgeting with stuff now and drinking my beer.
I feel really weird being this far from my phone. Can I just have it a little bit closer, just so I can see it? Like,
there you go. It's there.
I'm not going to touch it. I just need to know.
You just need to know it's there. It's like I put it behind there and you never see it again.
Apparently, and this is a statistic, apparently 90% of people around our age are near their phones 24 hours a day.
Well, people say it's bad to always have your phone on you. But to be honest, in this contraption that I have in my hand right now, I have my phone. Yeah. I can check anything. I can check my phone. I can check. Obviously, I can check my phone.
I can pick up a phone.
My parents can get into contact with me anytime. I can check my bank account.
Yeah.
I can move emergency funds around if I need to.
You can contact pretty much anyone else with a phone.
Yep, I can find out if anything's gone wrong. I can find emergency contacts.
There's that wiki for species where people tried to create a wiki of every species on the planet. You can just
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You can just be like, what species of spider lives in Madrid? And then it'll be like, this one. You're like, wow, that's...
Yeah, and I don't... How is that wrong?
No.
For us to evolve to a point that we can have information at the point... I understand the overload. I think social media forces the drain on that.
Yeah.
Because you always have to be connected. You always have to have social media on.
Yeah.
Now,
some of that I kind of agree with. Like Snapchat,
yeah, I do agree too.
Snapchat has that thing of like the Snapchat streak. Like if you Snapchat each other every day, you get like a 3 next to the fire. And some people get like quite into that.
And plus, there's only so many dick pics I can send to people.
Nah, that's true. I'm really kind of sick. I've actually started arranging them and drawing mustaches on them and putting them on my wall. Julia's not so happy about it.
It's weird because she's like right there. I mean, she's not exactly need to go anywhere for him.
The other thing is, the technology that we have in our phones is, technically speaking, greater technology than what they went to the moon with in terms of processing power, RAM, space.
And we haven't been to the moon since. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, well, we found it was pretty boring as shit, really. We were out there expecting aliens or maybe like a cube that can control time.
You know
but
what?
It was a lot
just on a side note, because I've just noticed this.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to stroke a beard that isn't there.
Oh, do you know what really freaked me out? I got 2 emails by the FBI.
What?
No, this is true.
Okay,
And
this took a very odd turn,
Sorry,
but alright. I'm like, I missed my bed. FBI!
contacted me. So, I don't know if you've listened to the podcast before, but we've talked about bombing the US, killing the president, and anthrax, and missiles.
And necrophilia,
On the podcast before, I got 2 emails from the FBI. I saw it and I freaked out. I was like, oh my god, we're going to jail. We've talked about stuff, we're going to jail. I forgot that years ago I subscribed to their newsletter and they just haven't sent out like an edition in ages. And holy crap, man, my heart was like beating.
That's a bit. We've said a lot of things on this podcast.
I'm amazed we've gotten away with it this far.
I'm amazed that people are still listening to it.
I don't think they are, Dave. I think I think bots download it and they just
and just like give a heart.
Yeah,
heart. I think actually bots do heart.
Did you see the tweet where I was like, I'm going to Japan soon. I'm going to tweet cool D&E stuff. And so I was like, we'll miss you, Ollie. I tweeted, remember to feed Dave while I'm away.
Oh, I don't need your help. I've got plenty.
I can see coffee and salt.
That's your coffee.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway. But yeah, it's going to be interesting what's going to happen because we've filmed stuff in advance as well.
Yeah. So the Dragon Taverns will continue.
Yeah, the Dragon Taverns will continue. I will have a beard probably.
Yeah. NBCs we can't pre-record.
No, we can't predict what's going to happen. So
we could just do episodes where it's like just pure theory. Like
I haven't worked out the schedule yet. I put a post out for the people that are in the live stream.
I think
and only Julia's probably put the hand up, but Tom liked the page, so I think
I think you'll have to approach them individually. Like
Max,
I think will be keen. Will is not. He's way too out of the loop right now.
I think Conan might be good.
Conan would be keen, and I'm sure because Thomas just finished all his studies and shit.
Conan is basically like Mr. Clay.
How so?
Because he's just that height. He's a big fella, and he's kind of very flamboyant.
Yeah. Conan is wonderful. He's just a really good human being.
He is.
Great.
And I think it's like I'm complete opposite.
It's evident of how like good person he is. When we were like, we want to do D20 House, he was like, sweet, let's meet up. I'll lend you cameras. I'll just give you all the counsel that I have. What I learned doing a web series, and he just sat down with us. Was like, this is what will work. This is what won't.
And I really want to actually go with that. It would be very interesting to see because he produces really well and he can give us so much advice because he's been in the industry for a while.
Oh, okay. We used to do actors writers workshops together. So I actually saw Two Naked Gay Guys before it was a thing in terms of like his draft script.
Because he took a big break. Didn't
he? Yeah. But I mean, some of the stuff he writes is so damn funny. I'm just like, I wish I could be that funny.
We will put a link down below if you're watching this on YouTube or SoundCloud of that. Just in case you're curious about it.
Yeah.
Just support independent media or all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you can
it's just well written.
Enjoy it, that kind of thing. I mean, I don't watch it on a regular basis, but I do watch it once in a while.
Because I like Wellington, New Zealand. New Zealand is a very artistic country. Like we have a lot of artists and painters and writers and stuff. But Wellington, like where we are, is pretty much the hub of that entire pulse.
Most of the time, yeah. I mean, I'm not too ingrained in it because I don't really get ingrained myself in it.
Well, see, I've got like a network of people on Facebook, and what we do is we just send each other the Facebook pages, the events, all the shows that we do, and like the kind of like what's the word, etiquette is to go interested, so it'll show up on my feed, but I don't actually have to go. So we kind of do that for each other. And that's just a way of like supporting the community.
So what's replaced? Because if those that don't know, Ollie has a bi-weekly show. Is it bi-weekly? Fortnightly show.
Fortnightly show.
You know what I realised the other day? Fortnightly is not a widely used term outside of British kind of colonies. Yeah,
I thought everyone used fortnightly.
Like I think in America they don't use the term fortnightly too much.
That's weird.
But anyway, every 2 weeks you have a show. What's replacing your show in the meantime?
Oh, for the 2 weeks that I'm away, he's got tons of artists that have approached him, so he's going to put on one shows. Actually, last time we did Headliners versus the Headlines.
Which is Ollie's show.
Yeah, so it's a comedy panel show that I host. The theme last week was Pokemon. We had this improviser who's over from Australia. He was only here for like a couple of days. And the guy that runs the theatre was like, do you want to have this guy on your show? He's quite funny. And I was like, yeah, keen for anything. Put him on. He was like the MVP. Like his jokes were killing it. He nailed the entire show. And I was like, I'm so pissed that you're leaving in 2 days. I would have you on every show.
Did he enjoy himself?
Yeah, man, he really loved it.
Oh, cool.
I got some. We got some really good laughs. It was a really good show.
That's good.
And that's kind of like a supplement to my income, which is cool being able to get paid for that. But yeah, we have like a little crowd that comes out. And
so if you're ever in Wellington,
yeah, check out Headlines versus the Headlines.
Yeah, if it is on a Saturday.
Yeah, but no, like, this is why I've been so just brain fried. All my efforts going into this play thing, because
we should mention where it's at.
Which one? Headliners?
Yeah.
Oh, Scruffy Bunny Improv Theatre.
There you go. So look it up on the internets. You'll be able to find it if you want to stalk Ollie.
Yeah.
Not me.
No,
I don't perform anywhere.
But you have been to a couple of headliners in the crowd and shouted out.
Do you remember that time I was wearing a Pokemon shirt?
Yeah.
And you go, and I yelled out something, and then you pointed. It's like, I liked your shirt. I'm like, I'm your flatmate. You didn't actually see
because
me.
the crowd is like really murky. Because
I know. I was right at the back too.
Yeah.
It was just funny. It's just like, I really like you. You were like all over complimenting me. Yeah. I'm like, I'm your flatmate. And
I was like, oh, hey Dave.
yeah, like, hey mate.
But no, my current massive project, is the play. I didn't realize quite how much goes into producing one of these things because I've only ever acted them before. But I'm so glad that my idea was to have other people involved because I would just fall flat if this was all I made.
Well, that's all part of the learning experience.
Exactly, and I am this year trying to get into not just writing but producing as a thing.
Producing is hard. I can find myself being a producer too. I think I'll be good at it.
Yeah.
If I ever I'll be very kind of a do this. But I mean, that would be a dream job for me to be a producer for just producing content. I mean, we do this channel, and
that's actually good learning as well.
If I had more time, there'll be so much more we could improve on and do, and having the right equipment and everything. Especially this podcast. This is one of the focuses I'm having over the next 6 months is improving the podcast quality.
Yeah.
I was getting individual mic. Ollie's on his phone again.
Sorry, I had one of my writers ask me to send me something, so I'm just
getting individual mics and getting the quality a little bit better. That's one of my goals, and just slowly improving what we're doing and see how far we can stretch this, because there's going to be a point where one of us are going to quit, and that's just one of those realities of life, is the fact of life gets in the way. Yeah. And sometimes things come up. It could be an opportunity. I could get an amazing job somewhere else in Wellington.
I could get abducted by international terrorists.
I was trying to have a serious conversation, but thanks, Ollie. Anyway, there's going to be a point that we're just going to say, hey, we're done. We've already done it a year and a half. That's still a really good stretch for anyone.
Yeah.
And who knows what will happen in a year. I could have a kid for all I know.
Yeah.
I could accidentally have a kid.
I could be abducted by international terrorists.
Why do you think this is going to happen, Ollie?
I just wanted to say terrorist a few more times on our podcast. Just for NSA.
Oh god, it's like we're trying to build an audience. Like, what can we do to stop that?
Yeah. No, but eventually there's going to be an end point, because I can't imagine 80-year-old us doing this show.
Well, the question is, how long will Critical Role go on?
That's true as well. But I think if there ever was like a natural end point to the channel, there would be some kind of but this is the path we're going on if you want to follow us.
Yeah, I don't know.
I could be because I'm also this year trying to write a novel. This has been something I've struggled with a lot. I've started and stopped.
Have you ever read the comic I wrote?
I think you sent it to me.
I did. I did send it to you.
I did read it. Yeah.
Did you read it?
Oh no! Wait. I read the the D&D campaign that you put together. But wasn't that the same
I've
thing?
never put together a D&D campaign.
Okay, so I must have read...
I don't think you've read anything.
No, because this was a couple of years ago, and you you wanted to run a one-shot based in the world of the comic that you wrote. So
Nope.
Okay, I'm remembering things.
I think you're just making... I think... And you said a couple of years ago. We didn't know each other a couple of years ago.
To me, like 6 months in my head is like...
Yeah,
a couple of years.
I mean, I'm an inspiring writing. I've written quite a lot. I've got a story called The 7 Deadly Sins of a Misguided Mind.
Yeah.
And I've also got another story called Penure, which I'm writing, and it's a comic book, and that's something I've always wanted to produce and make.
So I figure if the channel ever came to a natural endpoint, that would be the end of it. It would be like, if you want to follow Dave, go check out his comic book.
Yeah, or something like that. I don't know what the endpoint would be. Or probably just we're just sick of seeing each other and we're just like kill it. But if people are still watching,
there's a lot of factors.
So many factors, and to be honest, we're going to keep on going. I feel like we're going to keep on going until we hit that point and just see what happens. Because who knows, we could blow up on YouTube and all of a sudden become professional YouTubers and do this for a living. That'd be crazy.
Have you been watching Queer Eye for the Straight Guy?
No, I don't know how this is related, but alright.
There was an episode that I just watched today that made me cry, but this trans guy got to meet a YouTube star whose name I can't remember, who was like openly gay and trans. It was a huge huge inspiration for the trans community. It was really, really cool. And that just popped into my head. So
yeah, I mean, if we inspire one person...
We inspired Des.
Des that makes the High Rollers reviews. I think we've done our job.
To me, like at this point, it's just cool getting to chill and chat with people from around the world about nerd stuff.
Yeah, and keep going with it. Really. Yeah.
But yeah, there's I'm just trying to tick off the creative projects that I've always wanted to try.
Yeah.
A novel is one, but it just seems so daunting. You look at a book and you think, that's a lot of pages.
Yeah, like the 7 Deadly Sins of the Misguided Mind idea that I had, I conceived it as 7 books.
Right.
And so it's a huge project I've been doing since I was 20.
Yeah.
So I've been like writing a little bits of that, and one day I want to get my teeth into it. But it's a weird thing as you get older. You get so many things come up, and you just. I mean, I've been working 7 days straight.
Yeah.
And I just don't have any time. I mean, this is pretty much this is my free time.
I'm currently in flux. Like, if this writing experience with the play actually turns out to be really positive, it could be a new avenue for creativity. And I've actually already started thinking about the next one, which is about New Zealand stoners. But conversely, this could be a horrible experience. People come to the show and they hate it.
But I find you learn more from your failures, though.
Yeah.
That's what I find.
Yeah.
You learn more about things that go wrong, because if everything right and you give it to someone and or what do you think of it? It's like, it's good.
You're like, but what would you change? Oh no,
it's like good.
No,
and you're like, well, is it perfect? It's like, it's not perfect. It's good.
Yeah,
and
you're
like,
no. So like stuff to work on is always good. I just fear that it will be like, you put
everyone fears failure.
I think it's the evolutionary thing of why late at night or early morning your brain kind of goes through the stuff you fucked up that day.
Yeah.
You're going to play it over again. I think it's biologically crucial to our development that we dwell on mistakes so we can learn from them.
Yeah, and I think this channel is an obvious thing from it. It's like we've done a lot of mistakes, and you notice it with the editing, you notice it with a lot of things. It's just a case of like going, hey, that happened. We've now got to put it out there on the internet forever. And now we're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. Like our reviews, when we muck up something or don't review something properly or miss out a crucial piece of information, we do notice that. And we do kind of kick ourselves for it. But the only way to make it better is just to keep going with it.
Yeah.
And just to try it again better. Because we don't see our reviews that we do every week as gold. Or as like, you have to watch our review to know what's going on. No. We're pretty much two idiots on the couch that watch Critical Role. We consumed it both in two different ways.
Yeah.
And we've interpreted them two different ways.
Yeah.
And this is our interpretation of how we watched this show.
And I actually think it plays to that concept that we don't actually converse about what we saw and what we thought before. So we can have an actual, natural, organic conversation.
Yeah.
And be like...
This is what I think.
Ideas,
and it comes up with like MVP, who we think the most important character is.
I think if we discuss all that stuff pre-recording, it
wouldn't be as natural.
No, it would lose a lot of the dynamic of what makes it interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And that comes to improv.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's our reflection.
Shall we read some emails?
We're gonna read an email.
All right.
Guess who it's from?
I'm gonna. Now it's either.
Now,
Stanley Kubrick.
How about you, instead of this, how about you plug how people can email us?
Sure. Okay.
No, Should we do an email theme song?
Yeah.
Go.
Emails. No, wait. I'm going to do it to Ed Sheeran's Shape of You. An email ain't the best place to find a lover when you're talking to us, no. Send us some words on the digital words and we'll let you think what we know.
If you guys want to edit that out there and give us a little soundbite, I will put it in every episode instead of us needing to sing the song every week.
That sounds good.
So if you do want to contribute to this this email or to this podcast or just have suggestions of what you want us to talk about, send an email to d20multiverse@gmail.com. We're very receptive and we want this podcast to become what you guys want us to talk about. Yeah. All our Patrons, we love you to death. You guys make this happen. So if you guys have any ideas, throw it towards us. You don't have to be a Patreon to do that. This is your guys' show. Yeah. And we just banter for a while. And if we get more emails, we'll probably talk about more emails more.
Yeah, we'll have more time for it.
But instead, we've got James B.
I was going to guess. I was going to say it's Stanley Kubrick, Björk Gudmundsdottir, or Stephen Fry.
What's with you, like, the same celebrities over and over again?
One thing you learn in improv is some stuff your brain cannot come up with new things, so you just have
do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. That's why whenever you ask an audience, can we have a famous person for the scene, pretty much every time someone says Miss Piggy.
Really?
It's a weird thing, but it's true. Ask any improviser. It just pops up all the time.
You never said Miss Piggy, though.
No, I didn't. No. That's the audience.
But you're any improviser.
So Stanley Kubrick, I picked that name because I've been thinking about directors. Bjork is just always in my head. And what was the last one that I said?
I don't know.
Neither.
I lost interest after you start talking. So this is from James B. We love you, James B.
Yeah, you're actually my favourite James.
You are pretty much the fourth or the third podcaster.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Now, can I guess whose name is first in this one?
Okay, yeah, because he does change it up every time.
Yeah, I'm going to say he says Dave first.
He goes, hello, Ollie and Dave. So you're wrong, straight off the bat. First, I'd like to say the show was talking about, in the email, was Wellington Paranormal, because he was talking about a show.
Such a good show.
So that's what he was referring to. Yeah, so Wellington Paranormal, for those that don't know, is filmed here.
Yeah, it's written by New Zealanders.
Yep, it's filmed in, it's a spin-off to What We Do in the Shadows, which is an amazing movie.
Do you know what's funny? And this speaks to like the smallness of New Zealand. One of the writers of Wellington Paranormal, Jermaine Clement, is a regular at my work, and I was talking to him about miniatures and paints and stuff, and I was trying to kind of play it cool. So I said, "Well, if you look over here, we've got some brushes that are good for like fine detail, finer tips. That's really good. And over there, we've got paints for layers, which is really quite cool. Wellington Paranormal was a masterpiece, and over there, we've got some like grey miniatures, which are good because you can do it with a lighter, dark colour paint." And he said, "It's very high praise. Thank you."
Yeah, he probably gets it all the time. I've watched it. I liked it. Yeah. I wouldn't say it was a masterpiece, but
I thought it was a masterpiece.
I liked it because it's very Wellington. It was a very Wellington-esque show. I like it.
Me and Julia watched it together, right? Now she's a stand-up and I do improv. We're both kind of in the comedy scene, but we've got a very different sense of humour. However, we were both at different times, like wetting ourselves laughing at different jokes. So it actually had like a real wide array of comedic concepts that were just.
I need to watch the whole series. I think I've only watched a couple of them. I really want to dig into that.
Well, there's only 6. I was like hanging on for more.
I think it was a test concept. It's like, will this show work? And it did, and they're coming out with season 2. So it's good. So. Anyway, you're saying,
one of my friends was in that.
Or something similar to like that. You got it right, mate. As I couldn't quite make out what the awesome special guest Julia said. Not where you two dumbasses live. Not where you two dumbasses live. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, cheers, James.
Thanks. Just considering how often we kind of
dig into him.
Actually. It's only fair to throw an insult back up. If you do want to insult us, email us at d20multiverse@gmail.com.
Yeah.
We're not going to take you seriously, but we will cry about it.
If you'd like some ammo, I'm quite nerdy. I've had like
really, you're nerdy. You do a D&D YouTube channel and you're quite nerdy. That is a shocking development.
Yeah, new information.
Oh yeah, I'm obsessed with Ninja Turtles. Yes,
whoa, what?
I have looked up Ninja Turtle porn. Does exist.
Do you know I read
and drawn by the actual artists.
That's concerning. I read some Pokemon fan fiction, and the first like chapter was all about Mew masturbating in a forest, and I never needed to know how Pokemon masturbate. But
Mew or Mewtwo? Mewtwo seems like the one that would masturbate.
It was Mew. No,
it was definitely.
It doesn't make any sense, but it's fan fiction.
Okay. Enough about masturbating Pokemon.
Hey, at least we didn't talk about necrophilia.
Not yet. Anyway, he said, I like this podcast, mostly because you said nice things about me at the beginning.
We love you, James.
We've ruined it now.
Yeah. I bet you've got very creamy
skin. Fuck you, James. Anyway, I don't mind the teasing. Now it
good.
just doesn't feel like we should do it now. I know it's all in good fun. Or Dave, you read way too much into the peanut butter thing. If you're curious about that, I want you to watch the last podcast. I'm not going to explain the peanut butter thing again.
No, you should just figure that out.
Ollie.
Yes.
That's what he says.
Hi.
Ollie,
What up?
just so you know, my mum doesn't listen to your show.
I'm not surprised.
But hey, who could resist a chance to give their mum a shout out?
Hey!
And he said mum the American way. Mom.
Well, let me do a Pumat Soul shout out in an American or Canadian accent to James's mom.
You know they came up with a New Zealand character when he said it was Matt Mercer did a mashup, like the blacksmith. I think it was in Syldari.
But didn't he do it with an Australian accent?
He did it like he said it was a combo of New Zealand and Australian. But it was, I don't think there was any New Zealand in there. Yeah. I couldn't pick up anything New Zealand. He didn't use any New Zealand phrases.
Basically, to speak in a New Zealand accent, you pick a monotone and then give no inflection at all.
You know the funniest thing I heard today?
Yeah.
And I do not believe this. But the only you know what the difference is? Oh wait, what do you call a smart Australian? A New Zealander.
Why wasn't Jesus born in Australia?
Why?
They couldn't find 3 wise men and a virgin.
God! We do apologise for all Australian listeners.
I just like to say, that joke that I just told won me a 10-person pizza in a joke competition online.
Where's the pizza?
I ate it many years ago when I won it.
Well, it feels a bit selfish now. Seems like you're just gloating at this point.
Oh, that was totally gloating.
Anyway, when is Julia coming back? Next
Soon.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
She's funny and she adds a good dimension to the show. Keep Jason too if he doesn't suck. Why are we even on the podcast? Why don't we just get those two on?
Yeah, we just get called dumbasses.
Yeah, we just call ourselves dumbasses. Yeah. I got an email for the Kerry miniature.
Oh.
And like a sheep, I bought it. Have you seen that?
Not the Kerry one.
Yeah, so Steamforge released, I believe it's...
Dwarvenforge?
Dwarvenforge? I think it was Steamforge.
Okay.
They released, because you know how we got all those miniatures released?
Yeah.
They did a Kerry one.
Oh, cute.
So I think it's about $10, $15 New Zealand.
Cool.
To actually get one. I'm probably going to buy one.
Can you send me the link? Because I will buy one.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. We probably got an email about it, but yeah, it's a really cool... I want to get all... Because I put money into the Kickstarter.
Yep.
So I'll get those. My Vax miniature's on its way.
I saw a couple of people on the Critical Role fan page.
It could actually be in the mailbox today. I haven't checked it. Ooh. Should I go check it now? And you finish the rest of the email?
Sure.
All right.
So, necrophilia is... P.S. This is like the 2nd or 3rd email I've sent you this week. I have too much free time on my hands. If we're talking about free time, I do this podcast, I do an entire channel. The rest of my life is pretty much watching Penn and Teller fool us, drinking obscene amounts of coffee, hanging out with Julia, and writing complete absurdist poetry that is just abstract and nonchalantly...
It wasn't there.
He's got empty hands. I was so excited.
No, it wasn't there. Did you finish it?
But basically, once you take the corpse out of the warm bath...
What the hell, Ollie? You've been gone. Anyway, did you finish?
I finished it, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. Thanks, James B. I could read your other email that you have sent us. It was about the one-shot. But that was very, very long. And to be honest, yeah, that's got a lot of that. We'll maybe read out your email if we don't get another one before now and the next podcast. So me and Julia will have a good time not ripping that apart at all.
Cool. So
yeah.
I guess that from the fact that was the email section, that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, but we're going to do one last thing.
Okay.
Do you know what it is? So this is Ollie's memory. We're going to play a game because I told something that we're going to do.
Yeah.
And Ollie tries to remember what we're going to do.
Okay, cool. This sounds fun. I'm going to lose this game.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It involves an email.
So we're going to read an email. Send an email.
No.
We're gonna hack into someone's email.
All right,
account.
here's the tip 2.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the NPCs podcast.
Okay.
On the episode, sorry.
We're gonna.
Wow, this is Ollie's bit. We literally talked about this about 30 minutes ago, or before, like what, an hour ago?
An hour ago, yeah. So we got an email from
someone in Japan.
Oh yeah,
there we go. There it is.
The monster
and
card.
Now you just experience my frustration with Ollie all the time.
Hey man, try being the person that forgets their own life and then getting frustrated with yourself.
You don't forget your entire life.
How do you know?
because you wouldn't know me.
Who?
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, so we got an email.
Yes.
So we're going to do a bit more details than we did on the NPC episode. So we got an email from Ben Nilsson.
Sorry, did you just
Ben.
struggle to say Ben?
Well, I was going to say bin, but I put an emphasis on the bin because our accent kind of changes a bin to a bin sometimes if we say it too quickly.
Cool. I was just wondering if you were struggling to say the word Ben. So it seems like you were.
Anyway, so we've got an email from Ben Nelson.
Hey Ben Nelson. Do you know Nelson is a city in New Zealand?
Let's read his email because it might as well do it. He goes, "Hi, my name is Ben.
Hi Ben.
And my name's Ben, and my friend and I are running a Kickstarter for some cool D&D 5th Ed monster cards.
Yes.
You can check them out here. Now I'll leave the link below. It will also be on our SoundCloud link. I was wondering if there's anything you do to help me out to get a Kickstarter in front of a wider audience. Really, any help will be greatly appreciated. A retweet of our announcement being featured somewhere, advice on running a good Kickstarter, really anything. So your shout out to us, and he doesn't know we're doing this, we're just doing it.
Because we thought
is shouting out on our NPCs and also on our podcast. So if you do want to support a really good idea, the concept of it, you get a lot of D&D 5th Ed cards, spell cards.
Yeah.
And
which are cool. And you can also get, and again, this was Kickstarted, condition cards.
Yeah.
I got a box of these, and they are like cards that say charmed, poisoned, or whatever. All the stuff that goes along with that, that you can just give to a player and be like, now you can track the stuff. It makes it a lot easier.
So the idea behind these are that kind of concept, but for monsters.
Yeah. So he's got chibi versions, which is a Japanese word for small, like child.
Yeah.
Kind of
and he's from Japan, so it works.
Yeah. And essentially it's got like really cool artwork. We got a couple of pictures in the email, and all the stuff in the monster manual regarding challenge rating, hit points, AC, spells and stuff.
And he's not paying us at all. We just think it's a really good concept.
This is really cool. And I actually really want to get some because, my God, that would be so much more useful. And it also links to the cool thing. I started doing a thing in my game where I have all the items on like playing cards. I've got blank face playing cards. And when one of the players rolls, investigation, I hold out a fan of cards for them to pull, a bag of loot or whatever out of. You could do the same thing with the monster cards.
Yeah.
You could be have different decks in front of you and different challenges depending on where the party goes.
Well, he's actually included a concept of that. So on each card, they have a random thing that happens to that monster to make it unique. So that's why I was reading for the Kickstarter, and the more I read into it, because at first I was not going to do it.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those cases. The more I read into it, it's like, yeah, this is actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
And we want to support things that we think within small communities are actually really, really good.
Now, you did say you wanted to reach a wider audience. We've got about, I don't know, 5
Yeah,
people
so if one
attention.
person clicks on this link and supports the campaign,
then our job is done.
Our job is more than done.
Yeah.
So we'll leave the link down below if you want to dive into it even more. There's a lot of stuff. They've got stretch goals. It's a really good Kickstarter. One thing he does say on the email that it's their first one they've ever done, and they're really nervous about it.
Yeah.
And
honestly, from D20 Multiverse, we think it's brilliant, and we wish you all the best luck.
And if you have the guts to reach out to people and just put yourself out there where they could easily go away and say, piss off, you're not giving me anything.
That's commendable as well.
Yeah. Now he says this last line, which I laughed about.
Yeah.
You probably get asked for help a lot.
I get asked,
and I get that, but thanks anyway.
No, man. Honestly, we just think that's cool, and we're more than happy to support you with that. And hopefully, some people listening will be like, "Yeah, I'll check that out."
Yeah, and I hope you do.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to end it. It's a little bit shorter than normal, because mainly we've got 2 other things to do.
I also need to pee, and I need more coffee.
You always need to pee by this point.
And
it's literally only a 40-minute episode so far.
Yeah.
But thank you all our Patreons. We really love you to death. You guys kind of help us keep going. You're making our lives so much easier by chucking even just $1, because $1 means a lot.
Every time I think about our Patreons, I smile and my pants get a little
You've only just learned today how to log into Patreon.
I know.
I know.
That made me smile.
Yeah. I remember you hit me up because we're thinking about what to do for the thank you video.
Yeah.
And he hits me up and goes, what should we do? Because I feel like we should do something different because we did the same stick both times. And I go, hey, why don't you just ask the Patrons? It's like, all right, I'll just go into the Discord. I'm like, why don't you just go to Patreon?
And I was like, that sounds like a great idea. Let me do that right now. Here is me doing that. So and I'm like, what's the login?
Part of my job as a producer is trying to teach Ollie how to be more engaging.
Dave, many have tried and all have
But
failed.
I've still tried, and I still will, because if you're keen to take some weight off me, I'm more than happy for you to do that.
Yeah, well, I got rid of your beard, and that was quite
You
weighty.
did not touch my beard. I would
I
never let you touch my face.
I have it in a Ziploc bag.
I would punch you in the armpit.
That's a really
Yes,
weird
but you wouldn't
and
expect
specific
it. You
place.
would not expect me to punch you in the
I feel like you've been thinking
armpit.
about that far too much.
Nah, I would dislocate your shoulder, and then...
What if my arm here wrapped around your fist and like devoured it like a sea anemone until you just got a stump hand?
What the fuck is up with
I
your
watch
arm
too much
here?
hentai, alright?
That's a sexual thing?
For me, yeah. Put your
So your
fist
sexual thing is armpit hair attached around a hand.
and it just kind of like tendrils just pulses around your hand, my armpit here, like with tiny little tendrils that weave themselves into your your nerve endings, and then your armpit, my armpit, and your hand just become one entity.
You're going to Japan, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey, it wouldn't be the After Hours podcast if we didn't get weird.
thank you everyone. Massive thank to everyone that's listened to this so far. And if you do want to send us an email so we have more things to actually talk about.
Or James, if you're listening, just send us
Send us another one, James. Just let us know you're alive, at least. Send it to d20multiverse@gmail.com. You can also get this podcast on a SoundCloud, on Snitcher, on iTunes. And if you do get it from one of those, I really appreciate it because you get this sooner than anybody else, especially on the YouTubes.
Yep, and remember, go check out that Kickstarter that we talked about.
Yep, and all the other content, and just let us know what you want because this is your podcast. So,
Hey.
from Dave, me, I don't know how to do outros. You normally do it.
Watashi wa Oliver desu.
Bye.
Oyasumi nasai.
Just
That
say-
means good night.
Can you just say bye to the English speakers?
Sayonara.